we tried to rope him into
Well, good afternoon, everyone.
They want to do a 3 for.
Hey, this is a day that we have waited for a long time. Really an important day in our school's history. So when I got to Cotting School 16 years ago, I had no idea what an amazing place this was. And one of my first memories was on a Friday afternoon going into the old gym for soccer in the summer. And somebody said, help this child, she's in a wheelchair, you can help push her around. And for folks who've ever seen sports at Cotting School, they're adapted in a million different ways, and a lot of fun ways. So I had Bethany, and we were playing indoor soccer, and I was very tentative. She was in a wheelchair, and I didn't really know the kids that well, and I was pushing her a bit tentatively. And we're coming down the court, and she just looks at me and she goes, "Come on, rookie, this is not how we do it here." And I knew that at that point that there was something amazing about the students at Cotting School, and I've used this term before. Our students are tough and tender. They're tough, they're tenacious, they work really, really hard, and they're tender. They show a real exquisite kindness towards each other. And I'm very, very proud of them and what they've accomplished. And so you're setting something up for them, for this generation of students, and for the generation of students to come. So if you come to a basketball game on a Friday night, you might have seen a student who was singing the national anthem. I remember watching JR's mother's face as he was singing the national anthem and the pride in her face. You might have watched the boosters. If you came when we have our annual game with Nobles, you would have seen the work that the Randall family got getting that going. And you might have seen a student, if you come to game after game, try to sink a basket from a wheelchair and miss the next week, and miss the third week. And then maybe that fourth week that basket happens, and that is the most important basket of that year for any of our students anytime. So it's really something special that you are all part of. So what's in back of us is partially done. It's going to be, steel will be up here in another month, and then it'll be a big structure. And then by January, it'll be enclosed. And sometime in the future, we'll have a big gathering, because this would have been a gathering of hundreds of people today. And we'll have a big gathering of people for a ribbon cutting. And when you go through that building, what will you see? Well, you'll see a brand new basketball court designed with our kids in mind. You'll see 2 candlepin alley lanes. Why? Well, kids used to play candlepin bowling down the street. That alley closed. Our kids need something on a Friday night to do what their typically developing peers do, what their brothers and sisters do. Get together with your friends, have pizza, do some bowling, play some hoops. And then we're going to have a climbing wall right here. And that climbing wall will have 4 lanes of different for different abilities. A child in a wheelchair can go up that climbing wall. We'll have an arts room. We'll have another performing arts room. All of that as part of the first phase of what will be the next part of Cotting School's history. And what does that in turn do? It unlocks the whole inside of the building. So because of the new gym, what goes in the old gym? Our occupational therapy, physical therapy department. Well, what goes in the OT/PT department? Expands our medical space, which we need desperately. A new learning commons, new vocational spaces. All of these pieces all come together. So before we move on to hear people who have shared this passion with us, I want to do a few thank yous. So I'd like to point out the trustees who are here, and let's make sure I don't miss anyone. So Dave Cushing is in the front row next to Mike Durkin. Dave is our immediate past board chair, and Mike is our current board chair. And then in back of Michael, 2 rows back next to my wife, who I give a shout out to, Maureen, is Joni Thorndike and Nick Thorndike. And the Thorndikes are the founding families of our school. Remember, it was Drs. Bradford and Thorndike who saw a need in 1893 and did something very radical at the time, opened a school for kids with disabilities. Lanny Thorndike sitting to Joni's right, Tim Conley back a little bit further. Where is Julie Bennett? Where's Julie? Julie's right over here. Where's Julie? Oh, there's Julie right over there, next to Lori Campana. And then our Vice Board Chair Emeritus, David Lee, who actually knew Mr. Cotting. It was Mr. Cotting who tapped him and brought him to this school. Did I miss any trustees? Elliot Klein. Well, it's funny you should mention Elliot Klein. Elliot, come here. That was a perfect setup. So I'm going to hand this to you. Elliot's term as our trustee, as our clerk, as chair of the audit committee, and has been the go-to person on all building related issues, is retiring from the board at our October meeting. That's a gift in his honor, and we'll celebrate his trusteeship at the October meeting. So thank you. So a few other acknowledgments. Ray Killian could not be here today. Ray just had surgery and couldn't join us. Ray is the co-chair of the committee, has been with the school since the late 1950s when he was an employee of the school, and just a wise and generous leader for the school for more than a generation. And Ray, I know you're watching, and we thank you wholeheartedly for your support for us today. And a few other acknowledgments. The steering committee for their work. I want to thank Bridget Irish, who is our Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, for the work she did in helping to shepherd the complex roads that we had to go through to get here. I want to thank Elizabeth Peters, who has done a magnificent job. We're 90% of the way to our $10 million goal on this project, and she has been our leader. I want to thank her staff, Dave Peduto, our facilities director, and all the folks who have really supported us. We have a couple students and alums here as well. Ryan Conley is here in the back. Ryan, welcome. Billy Carroll, who's a current student at the school, is here as well. And Ben Wallace, who's the senior class president, and he'll say a couple words in a few moments. A few other thank yous, and then I will get out of your way. From ARC, Philip Laird in Youngbin Park, who've been with us right from the beginning of this project. Thank you, both Philip and Youngbin. From Erlin, Scott Bates, Steve Kraft, Steve McDonald, Billy Heron, Mark Suter, and Zach Spencer, who's on a well-deserved vacation this week, and the rest of their team from Erlin. We picked the right construction company. They have been fabulous to work with. So thank you, folks at Erlin. And then Meg and Patrick from Activitas. You know, when we went to put a fully accessible playing field in here, Patrick McGuire gave us, it took 4 years to put the playing field in. Not because the construction was hard, but the process was. And Patrick McGuire gave us 4 years of pro bono services to help us get that field in. And so when the time came to hire engineers and landscape architects, we knew who we wanted to get. And Meg Basinski and Patrick McGuire had been unbelievable for us. So I want to thank all of you for everything that you have done for us. So I want to introduce Ben Wallace, our senior class president, to say a couple words. Ben, come on up.
Hi everyone. I'm Ben Wallace, president of the senior class of 2021. It's a real pleasure to have the opportunity to attend this exciting event. Ever since I heard about these plans, I was just taken aback. I couldn't believe the school was doing these renovations, and I was quite excited. The first thing I thought of when I heard this news was a year ago when two longtime Cotting alums visited the school to talk about its history, and especially the basketball team. They mentioned that upon their arrival, they were astounded at the sight of our gym, the one we have now. Back when they attended the school during the time that it was in Boston, their gym was less than half the size of ours, and the ceiling was much lower. So I was thinking, man, imagine when they hear that now we're making it even bigger. But yeah, this is going to be a great addition to the school. Honestly, I very much look forward to seeing it when it's done, and I think it's going to be really great for our basketball games. And in addition, we have that rock wall and that bowling alley, and that's really what got me about it when I heard it. It was never have I personally heard of a school having a rock wall and a bowling alley. So this really is a groundbreaking effort, literally and figuratively. I'm probably not going to be here as a student once this thing is done, but I'm really glad my fellow classmates will have it, and I look forward to playing them in it when I'm on the alumni team. And they better watch out. So it's a true pleasure to be here as we break ground on the soil that will soon hold, and seems it is holding, the future of this school. Thank you.
That was awesome, Ben. Thanks so much. You know, this is for not only the current students, but our alums. And I always remind the alums of that, especially the students who are just on the cusp of graduating, that, you know, once a Falcon, what? Always a Falcon. Thanks. I want to introduce Dave Cushing. Dave has been a rock-solid board chair. You know, I've been really blessed in my tenure here to have Ann Ogilvy and then Dave, and now Mike Durkin, really three extraordinary leaders. And I want to thank Dave personally for the guidance and support he's given the school, given me personally. You know, it's a real team effort with our trustees and with our staff and with our students. So thanks. Dave, please come forward.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate the kind introduction, and back at you, my friend. It's been a wonderful run together. You know, we're so excited to have been part of the experience here of helping get this vision, you know, conceived, launched, and now into the ground. So I'm wearing a slightly different hat today in speaking with you. I'm here in my role as the co-chair of the Capital Committee that has been helping to raise some of the funds to build this wonderful addition. And but I do want to assure you, I'm not going to ask you for any money today, or at least not directly. So we, I think that, you know, as I was thinking about what to say here, all I kept thinking was, you know, I just get to stand on the shoulders of giants. So many of the people who brought the school into being, shepherded it over many changes, many generations, and somehow it gets stronger and stronger with every passing generation. And I just feel so lucky to be part of this experience. And among those giants, probably none greater than Ray Killian, who, as Dave mentioned, couldn't be here today, but who is my co-chair on the Capital Campaign Committee, and who is the person who got me involved in Cotting actually 25 years ago. And just a wonderful mentor, friend, and been a great partner on this. So Ray, we wish you all the best, and you're here with us in spirit today, so we appreciate that. Just a very quick update on the campaign. As Dave alluded to, we've really gotten a long way through the campaign. We're over $9 million into the $10 million campaign. And although it's tempting to, as we can see the finish line, think that we'll get there, we also know that, it's, you're not there until you're there. And but we've been very fortunate to have the generosity of so many people supporting this campaign. Recently, we received an anonymous gift for $150,000, which blew us past the $9 million mark. We've also had a great response to the board challenge matching grant program that the board has put together. That's been almost fully subscribed. And really, again, I just want to, my main purpose here today is just to say thank you to everyone for their generosity, for their support in all the different ways that we've needed support to get this project going and underway. I guess last but not least, again, I sort of alluded to this at the beginning, so maybe this is a bookend, but it's been a real honor to serve as board chair. I just can't think of a finer organization to be involved with and to have had the opportunity to be in this role with. And I'm also would like to turn it over to our new board chair, Mr. Mike Durkin, who is going to do a great job.
Thanks. And Dave Cushing, come back here just for 1 second if you would.
Am I in trouble?
No, but you and Dave Manzo want to stand next to each other just for a second. These guys weren't sure they wanted to be, Simon and Garfunkel, Abbott and Costello, but they wanted to dress alike today. So,
yeah. Totally twinning here.
We owe them incredible debt of gratitude for showing up just like that. But really, truly, thanks to Dave Cushing and everybody who's gone before him on the board and our current fellow trustees. Cotting just has a great legacy. And really, people who gave to Cotting through this campaign weren't really given to Cotting. They were given to Ben, they were given to Ryan, and they were given to all the people that are going to graduate this year from Cotting that have in the past and will in the future. Really, what we've done is build a foundation here, and as Ben said, it really is groundbreaking in any number of ways. To have the opportunity to be here, and that's what Cotting really is for everybody who's been able to be here, and hopefully those who worked on it get a sense of that as well. What we're building here is opportunity, and a future filled with the best opportunities that we can try to concoct for folks who maybe sometimes need just a little extra hand. So it's really been a great thing. The other thing, when you think about it, all that has gone on this past year in our world, in our community, in our Cotting School community, and the lives of our students, this is a monumental accomplishment. Dave Manzo told me he was thinking about the value of this and how we keep pushing along through this. It reminded him of his favorite social philosopher, Nancy Sinatra, who said, "The beat goes on." And so it did. Yeah. He's quite a musician, as you can tell. Really and truly, good things don't happen just because they happen. They happen because good and committed and dedicated people put a step forward about what's good and important for other people in our community. We've done that today. We've got a chance to show how we're going to turn some dirt and break some more ground in just a second. Thanks to all of you for what you've done, and we've got some shovels and hard hats to wrap this up with. Thanks very much.
So we're going to turn some dirt, but I'm going to end the speaking part with an invitation. So the invitation is to return for the ribbon cutting, to watch the staff and student basketball game, and watch the staff beat the students. Right, Billy?
No, never.
If you've seen Billy and Ben on the court, you know that we have no chance at all. I want to, that will be a day when hopefully we'll all be together, a little closer together, a few more hugs, and a few more moments of celebration. So we're going to turn some dirt and ask you to return for that time when this is all done and we're all celebrating together, when we can actually feed you and be together in a closer way. So thank you. I think we're going to put some dirt here.
I'll let you take it over.
Dave Manzo, you're going to head over to the dirt with David Cushing, Bridget Irish, Mike Durkin. We'll start with that foursome, and then we have a couple more. So please enjoy yourselves, catch up on conversation, and we'll call out the next group in just a minute.
No, we got it. I got it finally. Sorry, guys. All right, here we go.